Welcome back guys to one of my videos. Today we're going to be going over the Stamina Templar build. This is the build that I run. Currently, I don't run the Marksman anymore. It's still a strong build though for those of you who want to run that. This one is really strong defensively and offensively. These are some of the buffs we have. We're using the Warrior Mundus. Our recovery's a little low, but we'll talk over that. You can change your food out for it. So the little bit about these abilities. This is with the Maelstrom two-hander. If you don't have it, it's okay. We can change that. I use immovability with speed pot. Immovability is really good. Speed is awesome. Tri-stat is really good for this build also. But max that, and if you're having issues with your recovery, go ahead and use recovery food. So this is the sword and board that we're using of Mark Holden, really for the extra stamina. We also use defending for the extra physical resistance and spell resistance. We have a weapon damage engine on the sword to increase your damage, which fully buffed on your two-hander you'd be close to 4,200. This is Ritual of Retribution. This is a skill we're using for our defensive bar. We'll go over that in a little bit. The Maelstrom Axe. Like I said, if you don't have this, it's okay. I was using the Great Sword of the Night Mothers for the longest time. The damage goes up because it's a gold weapon, but the damage engine on it also helps out. There's two different setups you can run. I also run bow, which I didn't add to this video, but I do use it. Basically, there's two abilities that I use on my bow, and everything will look the same, very similar. The only changes that I'll probably be adding is Draining Shot is the one skill that I use. Ritual of Retribution, Vigor, Ruin Focus, and Shuffle on my bow bar. Right now I don't have the bow bar on, so we're gonna go over this real quick. Like I said, this is a strong defense and strong offense. For the monster sets, Bloodspawn and one Kina, one Bloodspawn, one Velodreth. Either way it goes, it's better that way. I do use two Velodreth from time to time. It helps out in the open world. We're using this is one of my favorite setups though, is one Kina, one Velodreth. We're using one recovery jewelry, but you can go all three with damage. Just your recovery is going to be really low. We're using 5 Black Rose, and I know this is supposed to get nerfed on the next patch. The Black Rose set is going to take away from Max Stam to Max Magicka, which I don't really see it as a nerf. I think it's still going to be a strong set. Even though you're losing almost 1,000 stamina, you throw in an infused piece, maybe an infused shield, infused helmet, and you should be getting similar stats even with the extra magicka. Take away from running tri-stat food for sure. This is it, 3149. This is not fully buffed. The reason why we're not fully buffed is because Black Rose, or Heavy Armored, I'm sorry, increases your damage. So the damage you're taking gets stacked. Then you swap over to your sword and board. You do one light attack to proc your weapon enchant, and you'd be sitting at about 4,400 weapon damage on your two-hander, whether it is Maelstrom or not. Like I said, any two-hander would go great there. Right now we see the loss in damage only because we have a purple as opposed to the gold. But as long as you have that weapon enchant proc, you should be fine. The only thing you're losing out with the Maelstrom is the damage over time from crit rush. Basic skills. This is basically what it looks like with our two-hander. Our basic skills, we're running Ritual of Retribution. This is basically the Templar's way of cleansing himself of all negative effects. Really great ability for the defensive part of it. We're using all of our passives for Restoring Light skill tree. A lot of it is because of the major mending that you get and we'll go over that also in a little bit. I'll show you the tooltip. This disability is a great one. Repentance, really great for open world also. Obviously, if you're one-on-one, you don't want repentance, you can put beast trap there. If you can also go with that sword and board skill, but rearming trap is really good for duels or one-on-one. For 1vx situation, you do want to use repentance, give you that stamina bag that you're using as you're fighting your opponents. Also, we're using vigor, resolving vigor. Obviously, right? It's basically what biggest heal we have. We're using elude, which increases the time. I don't use the shuffle because I already have a cleanser, and also I'm using immovability pots, so it's less costly. This right here is one of my favorite abilities. This morph is really great because not only does it give you the physical and spell resistance, but it also stacks with your mending's passive, but it also gives you an 8% increase in healing received. You can see in the tooltip right now. 8% healing increased, and it also gives you an 8% in damage mitigation, which is really, really great. So we look at our tooltip now, it's about 2,000 more, almost 3,000 more healing received that you'll be getting. So it's really great. It's a must. We're using werewolf for the passive, but we also do use werewolf from time to time depending on the occasion. If you're running a small group or with a larger group, ultimate for reviving barrier is probably the best. The heal of this is insane. So it's kind of like a support role that you're getting. Your build a little bit of supportive role. You won't lose out much. I mean, you lose out the 15% recovery that werewolf gives you. For the two-hander, we're using rally, obviously critical rush, which decreases the we went with the other mode that decreases the speed movement. Reverse slice, which affects multiple opponents. Biting jabs, bread and butter of any Templar, and we're using binding javelin here. You could go with wrecking blow or Daisian swing. I just feel like the ability itself takes too long to cast, and also I mean, if you're playing with a skilled player, you have less chances of hitting. Binding javelin, even if they do have shuffle when you miss, you can proc it again, and it still gives you the knockback. You'll see on the videos how simple it is. You binding javelin, you crit rush in, heavy attack, jabs, and execution. If you have to, Dawnbreaker. But I think binding javelin doesn't hit as hard, but it's definitely a must. This is this champion point setup that I'm running currently. Helps this build be super tanky. You can take away from precise strikes and put it into piercing, and put some into blessed. 5% into blessed. It gives you great healing done. Very, very awesome ability. So this is basically it. This is the basic build. Like I said, you can replace that sword and board for the bow, and you can run shield breaker instead of the black rose. Your resistance will drop, but your speed will increase, and your recovery, and also your damage. This is it for now for this build. Let me add some of the clips to it, and I'll talk to you guys while the clips are showing about the giveaway that I did promise you. Thanks again, guys. Alright guys, thanks for staying tuned in up to this moment. So now let's talk about the giveaway that I promised. It's gonna be a $25 giveaway. The way it'll work is basically PayPal or Google Pay. You know, we'll figure out a way. All you have to do is subscribe, leave a name under this video, leave a name and a number, and we're gonna do a raffle. Well, basically, if you're already subscribed, just leave a name and a number next to that name underneath the comment section. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and do so to get a chance at winning the $25. It's basically a thank you for all of you guys that have liked my videos, that have subscribed. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you guys' support. So go ahead and leave a name and a number next to it underneath this video, and I will do a live raffle once we have all the numbers and the names together. We're gonna do a live raffle so you guys can see it in action, so to speak. That way, you know, I'm not just randomly selecting a number. We're gonna do a live raffle, and we're gonna have a number generator that's gonna give us the winning number. Again, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the build, and see you guys out there.
No, that's it. Oh shit. Oh.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. You hate that bad?